Ever wondered how Mike Tyson, known for his sheer power and dominance, faced one of his most formidable challenges? On August 17, 1986, Tyson squared off against Jose Ribalta, a fighter renowned for his exceptional durability and size. Despite Tyson's relentless onslaught, Ribalta's resilience became a defining feature of this epic bout. How did Ribalta manage to withstand the fierce attacks of a boxing legend? Dive into the details of this thrilling clash and discover how Tyson's greatest test unfolded, right here on Sports Frenzy TV. Hey there, boxing fans! So, a lot of people think Mike Tyson is like George Foreman, but actually, he's stronger. They also compare him to Joe Frazier, but Tyson is faster and hits harder. And when it comes to Rocky Marciano, Tyson's almost 30 pounds heavier. With all that going for him, it's no surprise that Tyson turned out to be such a force. Today, we're diving into a fight where Tyson went up against the biggest and toughest opponent of his career. We're talking about Jose Ribalta, a 6'6" Cuban heavyweight who took an unbelievable amount of punishment from the most fierce version of Iron Mike the world has ever seen. It was one of the most memorable heavyweight battles of all time. Let's get into it. At 5'10" and a half, Mike Tyson was definitely the shortest heavyweight contender in the Ring magazine's top 10 list for the fall of '86. Back then, boxing fans saw it was the new age, with most top contenders and champions towering over 6'4". Take Primo Carnera for example. Known as the Monster by Time magazine, he was one of those giants often seen as unskilled or just big for the sake of it, with his success attributed mainly to his size and weight. But things started to change with the arrival of top-notch trainers like Eddie Futch and Emmanuel Stewart. They weren't just focused on using a fighter's size to their advantage. They worked hard to make sure these big guys could box just as well as those who were a half-foot shorter. Now Lennox Lewis is taking David Tua to school. Since Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis took over as the top players in the heavyweight division, big guys have been dominating the scene ever since. When Mike Tyson was younger, he often thought he was stuck in a tough situation, feeling like he'd never grew or achieve anything because he was too short for sports. But eventually, he started to believe in himself, and things started turning around. Jose Ribalta was one of those classic long-range fighters who excelled in the amateur boxing scene during his teens. His size perfectly complemented the elegant, dance-like boxing style he learned at the Fifth Street Gym in Miami, a key training ground for Cuban boxing in the US. By the time he turned professional in 1982, Ribalta was ranked as the number 2 amateur heavyweight in America. He used his skills to overcome journeymen like David Yako and Rick Keller. In the years that followed, he faced various opponents and was considered a significant threat. Ribalta missed a chance for genuine boxing recognition in a 1985 fight against James Bone Crusher Smith, who would soon become a heavyweight champion. Most people outside of 2 of the 3 ringside judges believed Ribalta had won the match with relative ease. Unfortunately, questionable decisions are part of the sport, and early setbacks can either strengthen or hinder a fighter's career. By July 1986, as Tyson's next fight approached, Ribalta appeared to be at his peak both physically and mentally, confident he could end Tyson's 25-fight unbeaten streak. Ribalta's manager, Lou DeCubas, believed that Ribalta was the fighter who could defeat Mike Tyson. He anticipated that Tyson would be surprised when Ribalta knocked him out. DeCubas noted that Tyson has a reputation for knocking opponents out cold, and if he faced Ribalta, he'd need to be prepared for a tough fight. He emphasized that while Tyson had yet to face anyone with Ribalta's punching power, he was not dismissing Tyson's abilities. Tyson faced Ribalta at the Trump Plaza Hotel in Atlantic City on August 17, 1986. The atmosphere was electric, with the tension between the two fighters creating a legendary scene for the fortunate 1,000 attendees. Tyson's fierce expressions were met with Ribalta's unflinching gaze, making it clear to everyone that they were in for an incredible night of heavyweight boxing. As anticipated, Tyson's right hand was constantly targeting Ribalta. A classic combination of a right hook to the body followed by a right uppercut knocked Ribalta down at the end of the second round. The power behind that uppercut was enough to take down almost anyone, but to the crowd's surprise, Ribalta managed to get back on his feet and keep fighting until the end of the round. Recognizing Ribalta's toughness, Tyson decided to focus on body shots in the following rounds, aiming to wear down Ribalta's core with his relentless attacks. By the end of the 7th round, Tyson was attacking with the same intensity as he did at the start, delivering punches with the speed and power of someone who seemed almost unstoppable. Tyson was visibly surprised that Ribalta had managed to get up again. Instead of easing up and going for a decision win, Tyson aimed to entertain the crowd by finishing the fight with another powerful shot. And that's exactly what he did. Tyson knocked out Ribalta in the 10th round in a way that would have made Cus D'Amato proud. However, HBO's Larry Merchant was less impressed with the performance and questioned Tyson in the post-fight interview. Larry Merchant remarked that Tyson had underestimated Ribalta's toughness, noting that Ribalta was focused and determined. He praised Ribalta for fighting back, unlike others Tyson had faced, and pointed out that although Ribalta was knocked down, it was never fully defeated because he stayed mentally strong. Merchant also questioned whether there were too many expectations placed on Tyson. He wondered if Tyson felt pressured to knock out opponents early to avoid criticism, suggesting that if Tyson didn't finish a fight quickly, people might say he couldn't hit hard. Tyson's response was simply to acknowledge that the outcome was what it was. Tyson handled the situation with a lot of grace, recognizing Ribalta as one of the toughest and most durable fighters he had ever faced. In a 2014 interview with Ring magazine, Tyson named Ribalta as the most resilient and strong opponent he had encountered, particularly noting Ribalta's strength in clinches. With a record of 32 wins and 9 losses, it's unlikely anyone would have expected Ribalta to deliver such a valiant performance against the prime Mike Tyson. After that fight, Ribalta's career took a downturn, and by his mid-20s, he was considered a journeyman. He retired after suffering 5 consecutive losses in 1999. Despite this, Ribalta still seeks a rematch with Tyson, obsessively calling him out on his Facebook page. Normally, these callouts might be dismissed, but given the unpredictable nature of boxing today, you never know who might make a comeback. To wrap it up, Tyson's bout with Ribalta really shows how unpredictable and intense boxing can get. What did you find most surprising about their fight? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you like this look back at a classic match, hit the subscribe button for more cool content and updates. Thanks for tuning in and catch you in the next one.